crucial topics. First week was about the communication.
To grow your business as well as your personal brand.
Second week, time management.
Prioritizing the time by the four step urgency versus important quadrant.
Third week was about change management.
Why change is important.
Where we had to explain Porter's 8-step model.
Last week was about conflict management.
I can very easily and confidently share my ideas and thoughts in front of my authority.
One of the important takeaway from this, the conflict management.
Leadership card, third mindset, relationship building.
A rich and diverse background of all four mentors is enriching.
Special highlight of this program is the last week get together as a team and work on a single project.
An important advantage from the leadership card, the personal interaction.
Best part about the program was
crucial
they
topics.
inspired
First
us
week was
to
about the
take
communication.
action. Session on how to
Business
make
as well
a
as your
vision
personal
board.
brand.
Highly
Second
recommend
week,
this course
time
to
management.
professionals of
Prioritizing
middle,
by the four
junior
step
and senior
urgency
management.
versus important quadrant.
Third week was about change management.
Why change is important.
Where we had to explain Porter's 8-step model.
Last week was about conflict management.
I can very easily and confidently share my ideas and thoughts in front of my authority.
One of the important takeaway from this, the conflict management.
Leadership card, third mindset, relationship building.
A rich and diverse background of all four mentors is enriching.
Special highlight of this program is the last week get together as a team and work on a single project.
An important advantage from the leadership card, the personal interaction.
Best part about the program was
Crucial
they
topics.
inspired
First
us
week was
to
about the
take action.
communication.
Session on how
Was about change management.
Why change is important.
Where we had to explain Porter's 8-step model.
Last week was about conflict management.
I can very easily and
Good evening, everyone. Welcome each and every one of you to this Card Hour. Card Hour is the knowledge sharing session which is conducted by Leadership Card every week on Thursday from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. This has been broadcast live in YouTube as well as posted later in other social media channels as well. Thank you all for joining in today for this Card Hour. Let me quickly give you a quick background of the card team. Card team comprises of this 4 individuals. It is the brainchild of 4 of us. We got together and good evening, everyone. Welcome each and every one of you to this Card Hour. Card Hour is the knowledge sharing session sorry for that interruption. Yeah, so this is card team consists of the 4 individuals. We have it's a brainchild of 4 of us: Karandeep Sandhu, Ashish Datta, myself, and Devesh Mohan. And since 2017, last 2 years, we had trained more than about 2,000 individuals, and we bring in an expertise in the areas of communication, finance, services, transformation, operations, sales, and alliances. We bring in cumulative 100 plus years of an experience and worked with diverse field of functions, and we bring in the India and global experience. To give quick background about each of the coaches in the leadership card, Karandeep Sandhu, she brings in the academic and communication leadership. She's a John Maxwell certified trainer, brings in 2 decades of an experience in academics, entrepreneurship, and coaching. And she's also a social entrepreneur. Main areas he focuses on: mindset, personality development, effective communication, personal branding, and TEDx coaching. Ashish Datta, he is an operational and finance leadership. He is a chartered accountant and certified trainer of IITD and COO and CFO of a leadership coach, self-leadership architect. And he brings in expertise in the areas of self-leadership, team dynamics, relationship management, and conflict management. I will give my introduction a little later. Devesh Mohan brings in the sales and alliance leadership, and he brings in again 2+ decades of an experience and a social entrepreneur. He focuses on leadership coach, personal transformation, goal setting, program, sales, and alliances part of it. So overall, as a leadership card, what are the problems we solve? We solve to the people if they are struggling with clarity of vision and purpose. We help them in that area. Overworking and burnout, feeling of overworking and the burnout, that's an area we help them, various tools and the coaching methods. Stuck in a career, growth and scaling the business. That is where if they find difficulty, then we also help in that area as a collectively. Struggling to implement strategies. This is many of us will bring in strategies, and implementation of strategies becomes a challenge. That is where we also help people. And the interpersonal conflict is the another area, and struggling with dysfunctional team, the team dynamics and teamwork. These are the areas where we work. That is if we have a problem in any of these areas, we are there. We will help the people to work on these areas. Now, just give a quick background about me. I'm Ram Ramakrishnan, leadership coach, transformation enabler, and a mentor. I bring in close to 3+ decades of leadership experience working with Fortune 500 companies. I'm a TEDx speaker and two times the author. First book is Focus 5, a practical guide for career growth. Second is the local to global, three-step framework for transformation. I focus on business transformation, personal transformation, SWOT analysis, priority management, networking, and the customer services areas. So I strongly believe in we all have powers to make the impossible to be possible. So today we are all here to look at in the card hour the priority management, the key to your transformation. And who here does not want to transform? Each one of us here want to look at how we transform. We do things better than what we have done yesterday. We all would like to do move into the journey. I request all of you to mute so that when you wanted to talk, you can unmute. Okay. So the transformation is the key. If you wanted to grow yourself in the organization, or either it is personally or professionally, that is where we all would like to work on a transformation. When you are working on a transformation, either it is personal or professional, one of the things becomes a key is the priority management. How do you put things, prioritize the things and work on thrust to your transformational initiative? That is what we are going to look at today here. The transformation is something, what you do is you would like to bring that marked change. Many times something which nobody has done and you are trying to do it, or something already existing and you wanted to bring in the marked change and the improvement into whatever it is happening today. That is where we work on, that is the transformational thing. So let's look at it, how we work on how the priority management, how priority management keys in bringing that the transformation, whatever you are looking at it. Now, all of you here listening to me in the Zoom as well as on the YouTube, I would like you to list down the goal you have in the following areas. For ease of it, I had put everyone look at some goals in the health, some in the relationship, some in the career, and some in the wealth part of it. All of us will have. I just wanted you to list down one of the goal you have in that area, which is an important, which is most important to you, which is the one you wanted to focus or you are focusing on it. So write down what are all those one of the goals which you have. Once you have done that, I wanted you to list down, I'll give you just a minute of a time for all of you to think through whatever immediately comes to your mind. List down the 20 activities you did in the last 1 week. Don't go beyond that. Just remember whatever it comes to your mind. What are all the 20 activities? I just wanted you to write down in a piece of a paper. What are those 20 activities you have done in the last 1 week, which comes to your mind? You might have done more than 20 activities. That doesn't matter. I wanted you to list down the top 20 activities which comes to your mind, top of the recall, write it down. So I give you just a minute of a time for that, since you need to recollect and write it. The first thing which I said is in each of this area, write down that one goal. You decided to work on that one goal, health, relationship, career, and wealth. Second, I asked you to list down the 20 activities you did in the last 1 week. So I presume you are doing this exercise. That would help you to understand the priority management better. So it is all going to be a little bit participative kind of a program. So now once you have listed down, these 20 activities, I wanted you to look at, earlier you said these are all the goals, some of the goals you have put in there. I wanted to look at, tick all that aligned to your goal. The activity which you have done, you had a goal, either it is health, relationship, career, or wealth. In these areas, if it is aligned, you tick it, saying that it is relating to that goal. What is that you are working on and you decided to achieve in the year, right? Once you have done the ticking of those, 20 of them you had, how many of them in that is aligned with the goals? Now I just want you to do a simple percentage of that, saying what are the percentage of the activities are aligned to your goals. And if anyone want to use the chart option and wanted to put it, and happy, I just wanted you to look at and put it there. What is that percentage it is coming to? Is it 50% of it? It is 20%, 30%, or 80% of it, which is aligned to your goals. No one, including me, I will not have 100% of my activities aligned to the goals. No one is going to have, and we will have certain percentage of it, which is aligned to the goals, the various activities. What is that we do? So if any one of you would like to do that, please do that. And also note it down. I just posted in a chart option one of the Google form. I'll tell you about this Google form, what it is. Towards end of that, you are going to get some of the bonuses what from my Udemy courses. That is what I had put in, and we will get into that little later. So before I forget, that's the reason I had put in that. So now all of you have done this exercise, I think. Let me repeat for the benefit of all. Some of you have joined late or some of them watching on YouTube live little late. List down a goal you have in the following areas. For convenience, I put health, relationship, career, and wealth. These are the areas you might definitely will have some goals in that area. What is that goal? Write it down. Then I wanted you to look back last 1 week, whatever the top of the recall 20 activities which comes in, just list it down. What is that? You list down the 20 activities you did in the last week. Then I want you to compare, tick all that align to your goals. Then out of that, I want you to convert them into a percentage and put it. If any one of you attending here, if you have put in, I would just wanted you to put the percentage. What is that percentage of the activities you are seeing that is it is aligned to your goals? Normally people will come 30%, 40%, 50%. That is what it is all aligned to the goals. Someone is very efficient and effective, might have 60, 70, or 80% of it aligned to the goals. Now, moving on to the priority management. Let's understand what is this priority management. Priority management is nothing but you working towards achieving your goals or vision. You are able to allocate the required amount of a time for your goals or vision in your activities. As I said, it need not have to be 100% of the time. Whatever you do, it has to be towards the goal or vision. It is possible by some of the people if they are focused, and as an individual, when we are working, if we are able to get it at 60 or 70 or 80% of it, it is good. You keep your focus as your time is spent on towards achieving, you are working towards achieving your vision and goal. That is great. Our big question is, how do we achieve this? That is what we are going to look at. The idea is all of us want to transform, either personally or professionally. We wanted to transform the way we are doing the things, and we bring in the transformation. Then you need to have the goal, vision, and mission, which is most important. And priority management is you working towards achieving your mission, vision, and the goals. Nothing more than that is the priority management. It looks so simple, but it requires a lot of effort. There are two things. One is you look at a clock. Clock shows you 24 hours of a time. You started allocating time 24 in the 24 hours where you wanted to spend the time. That is the time management. And the compass is something which you put in and put in a direction. Today you see with the technology and other thing is there, you have all this equipment in a technology based also. The compass, even today the aircraft runs through the compass setting the direction at which you need to fly, right? When your directions are clear, you keep all your energy, effort, and everything is focused on to the direction. That is what you are going to do that. I think yeah. So there are two things. One is the clock. Clock is what you do. You start scheduling the activity based on the time available. That is where you manage your time. The campus is brings in that focus on what is that goal, mission, or vision you wanted to achieve. See, the clock will tell you basically efficiency, schedule, and urgent things. What you put in as part of the calendar, 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours you work, you started allocating the time for various activities. Yeah, some of you have done the exercise 20 activities. I wanted you to list it down. If you are done, you will understand that you started doing those activities based on the schedule, based on the thing, what is it required. And the campus is the effectiveness, relationship, and important things. See, why effectiveness is you need to bring in that for your goal, vision, and mission, how effectively you are putting it, the things together and working on it and bring in that relationship. And you also have various relationship, right from your family to the bosses, subordinate, and how do you spend that time. There are important things, which is the goals, mission, and vision. How do you spend that time? Clock represents the appointment schedule and activities. How do you manage your time? Are you working like a clock or are you working like a campus? Is the question. Moment when you wanted to prioritize, you wanted to work like a campus. Basically represent your mission, direction, value. What you feel matters most. What you feel is important thing that need to take place in your scheduling of the activities. If most part of your work you do on a daily basis, you do that. If you have the time, most of your time, 60, 70 or up to 80% of your time focused on your mission, vision, and the goals, what you have, the direction on which you are working on, and you have a better prioritization of the activities. And if you have more of the time, whatever it comes, activities, you keep filling your calendar and keep doing it. You are only managing the time. You are not focusing on your priority. So that is where it becomes important. The first exercise, what you had given, identify the goals. What are all the goals you have? Basis that, look at your 1 week's activity. Is the activity which you are doing is aligned to the goal, what you are working on it. Look at it. If it is not there, how do we do it? That is what we are going to look at today here. Why it is essential? The question comes in as priority management is essential. It helps to identify the most critical and impactful initiative. It helps you to identify Moment you have the priority clear, your vision, goal, and the mission is clear, you are able to, it helps you to critical and impactful initiative. It helps you to identify that. Then allocate the resource, time, and efforts. You start allocating the resource, time, and effort. Then once you have a priority management clear, it avoids the firefighting and you worked in a very planned manner. It helps maximize the potential impact of the transformation. We talked about the transformation. See, in the transformation, you will have definitely the goal, what you wanted to achieve. And you need to definitely allocate the resource, time, and effort. Then that is where it helps you to maximize the potential impact on the transformation, how it can bring in that required impact on that. So now the question is, you need to analyze where you are spending your time. You have to list it down, all the activities you do on a daily basis. Go back next, start 1 week or so. You can start working on it and list down those activities on hourly basis is more than sufficient. You start looking at on hourly basis, where do you spend your time? Is it on necessity? That is important and urgent thing. All of us will have certain necessities which we need to spend time. There is no doubt about it. And we all have to spend some of the important and urgent things which will be there. But are you always firefighting or selectively doing that? That is where this will help you. You need to analyze that. Second one, focus. Are you focusing on important, not urgent? These are all your goals, vision, and mission based thing. Are you focusing on important, not urgent? How much of a time you are focusing on that? Then avoid. There are activities which you will have. It is not important and urgent, which comes. I explain each of these terms in the upcoming slides to you. And the fourth one is the waste. Not important, not urgent. We end up spending time on not important, not urgent things. Let us look at each one of it. As I said, necessity, whatever amount of a planning you do, whatever amount of a prioritization you do, as I said, you will have some of the activities which is important and urgent will be there, which is something is crisis, some of the emergency meeting, some deadline driven, last minute things, pressing problem, unforeseen events. Just to give an example, you are working in a very planned way in your organization. All of a sudden, there is a strike called off. What is that you do? It becomes an urgent and you need to start looking at how when the thing, it has become like now necessity. You need to see what is that you will do. It will become a crisis. Another crisis situation we can take is you have at home, there is the leakage of your sewage. What happened? All of a sudden, even though you work on various priorities, immediately you need to arrest it. Otherwise, it is going to cause inconvenience to you as well as the neighbors. So that way it become a crisis kind of a situation. So whatever amount of planning you do, there is certain amount of crisis you need to have, factor it, manage it. This is necessities will keep coming in. And all of us know during the time of a pandemic, we all understood when the vaccination needs to be done. And there are people stood in the queue for hours together to do the vaccination done. That point of a time, it is the necessity. So you have these activities definitely will be there. Then next one is focus on, this is a focus is important, not urgent. So you set up a goal. It is not the goal or your vision or mission. All these things are not going to be achieved in one day, right? And you need to start prioritizing your time, start working on it. How do you do that? Many of this crisis can be is an opportunity wherein you can start looking at bring in a focus. If you do a root cause analysis and solve that problem from the root, proactively you make the things work, then it is an activity. You are spending the time on ensuring that you don't get into a crisis situation, but you are able to get the things addressed better. So you start working on, that is where you need to start working on your goals and your vision and mission very proactively. And creative thinking. Some of it is today you look at the way the Zoom, which we are working in. It also in the last 2.5 years, you see there are many features which has been added into that. This is the feature like an immersive thing which I am doing it. It was one point of a time, it was a difficult feature. Today, it has become a common feature. Like that, there are many features which got added into that. That is because of creative thinking. Because it is important, not urgent. Because some of the things people, when they started using some of the social media, every day they are looking at how they can add and get into the new features. So that is where you need to start spending time, some of the creative thinking in your area of work. Planning and prevention, it becomes a focus. You start planning, how do you in a day start allocating the time for your important goals? If you are able to plan and do that, it is the focused action which you are doing it. About the learning, whatever you are or somehow whoever is here and spending time understanding, even though you know time management, you know the priority management, and you are here to understand what is something you can learn new, something you can look at and implement. What you are doing is the focused thing. Continuous learning has to be there. Lifelong learning is something, is an important thing you need to do. Learning and renewal, you are doing it. Apart from that, recreation, whatever recreation is, whatever is required to take care of your health, doing those exercises, doing those workouts, doing those meditation, all is required. The healthy body is most important for you to deliver the great results. So if we ignore not doing any exercises, not doing and eating the way you wanted and not having focus on your diet, and you are going to end up having a overweight and you are end up having those problems. Important, not urgent. Again, as I said, your family needs time. You can't ignore. Only work I will spend time and I'm not going to spend time with my family. That is not going to work. And how do you allocate time for your subordinates? It's not that you instruct only the work with them. And how do you spend quality time with them is also an important thing. So wherein you need to start spending, build that relationship with people. And as a leader, you need to start working on that. So this is the areas important and not urgent. This is an area, are you spending the time? You need to start look at it. Where is that you are spending the time? Then avoid is something not important, urgent. Needless interruption. Somebody calls you. We keep getting so many calls, the spam calls and other thing, which is avoidable. And if some of you have Truecaller, if it is a spam, you don't pick up the call, you can avoid it. Sometime when you are working in an organization, there is a colleague comes in and talks to you. You can't say no to him. Sometime it is not related to anything you are doing it. Then it is becoming like not important and urgent. It is some of these activities you need to start looking at it. Are you working on unnecessary reports? Irrelevant meeting. Are you spending time on irrelevant meetings? Other people's minor issues, unimportant email, task, phone calls, and status post. These are the things which are all the thing not important but urgent. What happens is, here I'll give you a classic example. You have the Email, you started open email every day. You wanted, as and when the email comes and you wanted to reply. If you are working like that, you will end up spending the whole day only looking at the email or looking at that reply. There are people sitting on the just on a WhatsApp or social media, Facebook, and various other places, spending the time countlessly. And you need to start looking at how much of a time you are spending. It is required. I'm not saying it is not required. And you need to start looking at, are you spending a controlled amount of a time? Are you spending uncontrolled amount of the time there? So that is where you need to start looking at where your time is getting spent. Is this kind of a interruption, unnecessary reports? Sometimes we generate reports in organization. We don't know who is looking at the report. And if someone is not looking at the report, stop making those reports. So something which is there traditionally, you start doing it, you may end up spending some of these things, is avoidable things, you be doing it. Nobody is looking at that. So that is where you need to look at the third part of it. The fourth part is the wastage. Wastage is something we excessive of people working on the YouTube or some of the areas and some of the tribal work where basically you are meant to do certain amount of a work, you doing the lower level of the work, not delegating the work to your subordinate, your people, and doing that. That is the work which is the thing you can start looking at how you can delegate. Avoidance activities, you can take some time. These are some of the avoidance activities. A classic example is the delegation of the work, wherein you are not supposed to do, your subordinates are supposed to do, you delegated the work, even then you end up spending the time. You start, rather than telling them what is to be done, you also work sending the time on how to do it with them. An excessive relaxation, television, gaming, or internet, anything you do in excess of it, it all come as a wastage. And gossip, it happens sometime in the organization. People start talking about other people, other things. That is where it happens. You start end up spending the time. I wanted all of you to look at and take your time sheet. If you are having, you can be able to recollect it last 1 week. Start recollecting the activities what you have done on hourly basis. Otherwise, start monitoring those activities for the next 1 week. Start looking at it and where you are spending the time. Are you spending the time in the area of a necessity? Are you spending the time where it is the focus? Are you spending the time which is avoidance? Are you spending the time which is the waste? Your focus should be, how do you increase your most of the time on the focus area? If you are currently at 50% or 40-50% in the focus area, you have to see how you can find the root cause of the problem, the crises, and minimize those crisis situations. And if you start working on that, then you get the time, you reduce the time on the necessity, you will have a minimal time on necessity you spend on. The avoid and wastages, if you have a higher, then you need to start analyzing and looking at how do you reduce that time so that you are able to spend more of a time into the focus area. The priority management is, how do you shift your entire activities, whatever you do, towards the focus area on a day-to-day basis. You'll start looking at on a daily basis first before you start doing it any long-term planning. Once you are comfortable on daily basis, you are able to bring in some of the thing. Definitely on a weekly basis, you will end up spending more time. Then you start planning for a longer term, saying that how do you would like to spend your time on that. So now, in summary, if you look at priority management is essential in transformation. Moment you talk, Transformation is the remarkable change you bring in. Something which is happening in a normal situation, you bring in something which is phenomenal improvement, phenomenal change into that. It enables organizations to focus their efforts on the most critical areas. You end up spending on the focus. You bring in more of the focus. Important, not urgent. That is an area you should end up spending more and more of a time. Align their transformation goals with the overall business objective. Either it is maybe your goal or organizational goals, business objective, mission or vision, part of it. How do you align your goals? That is what it helps. Ensure effective communication and collaboration among stakeholders. Once your priorities are clear, you are able to very clearly communicate with your team, effectively put the things across on saying that what is it that required and what needs to be done. So that is what it comes in. This is what in all summary about priority management. What you need to look at it is, first is you need to have your goals, vision and mission clear for your department or your personal, anything which is relating to that, you need to be very clear. Then start looking at where you are spending your time currently. How much of the time you spend is aligned to your goals. If it is not aligned to your goals, start looking at is where you can start delegating activity, where you can avoid doing certain things, where you can eliminate doing certain things, and start bringing that focus into your activity of not important, not urgent area where you are able to spend most of the time. Then you are going to have a good priority management in place with you. So now I'm ready to take any questions you might have. If we are having any questions on the priority management, happy to take questions and answer to you.
Hi Ram, Sai Ram here.
Yes, Sai Ram.
Yeah, thanks. That was an awesome session, and every time I attend this session, I'll be learning something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question is, when do we plan it? And there will be like weekday plannings are there and weekend plannings are there. Okay. So what is important, unimportant? When we just split all this into 4 squares, right? When do we note the things on a daily basis or on a weekly basis?
See, one of the things I would suggest you can start with the weekly planning. When you are starting the week, and you need to have a weekly planning, which is most important. But it's essential that every day you start looking at it. First thing if you have not done any kind of exercise like this, what I would like suggest is start looking at for the 1 week time where you are spending. Analyze that where are you spending that time. Then you know exactly where is that you are spending the time. Either in the necessity area you're spending more time, or you are spending on the focus you are spending, it is good, or you are spending in the avoid and wastage. Then start looking at how do you reduce it, which is what you need to start looking at. For this, most important thing is, as I said, your goals has to be clear. What is that you would like to do? Mainly I had given initial part of it. I told it may be your health related goal, health relationship related goals you might have, career related goals you might have, then wealth. These are the 4 areas mainly. If you look at largely you will have the goals. Set the goals clearly. What is it you would like to do that? Once that is done, then start allocating the time on a weekly basis. Right? Once you start allocating the time on a weekly basis, you are able to look at saying that whether you are doing, you need to take a stock also on a weekly basis allocated at the end of it, whether you are able to work on it and do that. And most important thing is vision board. I'll later maybe show it to you. You need to put your overall vision board also. See, all this thing, as I said, it is not the goal or vision or mission, whatever you put it, it's not the one day. It is an yearly affair, 1 year, 2 year or 3 year, you are going to do that. And that is where it becomes an important, and you need to start putting important and not urgent area, that is quadrant 2. More and more of a time you spend, your chances of achieving your goals, your vision and mission becomes higher.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Great.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, Prabhat here.
Yes, Prabhat.
Actually, I have one question that I know some activity which we can't avoid. Suppose in organization, my boss has called for a meeting, and which is not so important for me, considering the goal perspective. But I have to go to attend that meeting and attend that meeting, and that particular time I have planned something different as per my objective, but due to that meeting I could able to delay that activity. So how we can improve that part? Should I go and tell my boss directly that I will not attend, or how we will I have to manage that on that part?
Yeah, if you are thinking that your contribution is not much in the meeting, maybe boss, you have to have a one-to-one discussion you need to have and tell him, make him understand, saying that yes, something is required, some information is required, I'll give it to you. Is it necessary that I need to be there in the whole meeting?
Okay.
You can have that discussion with him and he is going to be happy. Ultimately, your boss is going to be happy, the results are achieved, right?
Yes, right.
Sometimes the bosses are there, they will also observe, do that. I did in one of the organizations, we used to have 3 days review session, calling all the location heads across the India. There are about 17, 18 people used to come, and we used to do the location review. This was the tradition which was there in the organization. So when I looked at it, I thought no one apart from me is interested in the location review. All other 17 people time I am wasting, I realized it. Then I told them I am not going to do. This is the way review. So it also important in the meetings also, sometimes we need to ask this question, saying that, am I contributing to this meeting? If I am not contributing to this meeting, how do I communicate my bosses and superior? Then that way the boss also start looking at and saying that whoever is required is invited for the meeting. This is to change. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Great having conversation with you. As I had sent one link to you, all of you. This is for some of the Udemy courses which I have. You can go through it, which is the practical guide for career growth, which has got 35 chapters on this is based on my experience. I had written the thing, which I captured as a small short video. And if you go through this Udemy course, you will be able to download that book as well, and which you can keep it as a reference. And professional excellence workshop, I have the preview. There are about 7 different subjects on the thing I talked about, strategic planning and the innovation and all other areas. That is also there. You can go through that. Some of the professional excellence course advanced, which is there, which is the full course, which is available, the SWOT analysis, 3-step framework for transformation. This is all available on Udemy, but I am not going to charge anything to you as you are attending this program. If we can fill this form, and I will enable you to get access for the next 1 month so that you can go through this course free for you. That is the one I'm giving it, which you can look at, fill the form. What I wanted is a Google form you need to fill, send, then I can make the links and send it across to you. Then you will have 1 month access on all these 3 courses, which you can go through that. So how do you continue the journey with Leadership Card? We have the card hour is the thing which we do every Thursday, which like today we talked on priority management. Similarly, each of my other coaches come in and they do the program. The personal transformation program is a fully online program, which is available, which I'll give more details about that. Then module-based training. Like me, there are a lot of Udemy courses. My other coaches also creating it. That's also available, which you can look at. We are very shortly coming up with the Women Leadership Program, which most likely in the month of July, we would be launching it. That's what we are planning to do. And self-paced learning program, like what I had given you in Udemy. And we also have our Graphy on that platform. We provide those training. The personal transformation program focuses on personality development. It starts with personality assessment, SWOT, goal setting, how to build resilience, and leading self-leadership framework, business communication, priority management, little more in detail. We'll spend 2 hours and make you realize how you can do that. Relationship management, then leading team, you will understand on the conflict management, team dynamics, negotiation, and business etiquette. On the leading organization, change management, gender diversity, problem solving and decision making, finance for non-finance. This is what we do in that. These are some of the programs we have done. And I thank you very much, each one of you, for attending today's program on priority management. And I'm sure it added some value to you. And answering the question of Sri Ram, one of the things is what happens is I also attend many programs again and again. What happens is we will not be able to understand everything one time attending the program. Each time where you attend, we get about 10 or 15 or 20% of it based on your absorption capacity, and you can attend as many times so that you start getting new inputs. And you also see, as trainers, we also keep enhancing, changing the context. And if you attended Sriram, my program to this, and I made some changes into that and brought in some of the thing, which is what will be there. So that is what is definitely going to help you. So attending the program again and again is always good, and you can do that. And as leaders, thank you very much for each one of you attending. For more information, you can connect with me. My mobile number is here, and you can write to support@leadershipcard.com. You can write to us or contact me. We will be happy to help you. And another offer to all of you, I'm also in the verge of getting the ICF coach certified. As part of that, I am doing a lot of coaching hours. If any one of you need some kind of a personal coaching, I am ready to provide 1 hour of a personal coaching to you. You can write to me on ram@leadershipcard.com. I'm just put in the mail ID. Then we can schedule. I'll give you an hour of a free coaching session to you. If it is required in any area, we wanted to find some answer to your challenges and problem. Thank you very much for each one of you for attending it. And until we see again in the next week, this is Ram Ramakrishnan, Transformation Enabler Leadership Coach from Leadership Card, signing out.